Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of Katie Interviews the Band. I'm here tonight with our guitarist, Robert Andres. Thanks so much for being here, Bob.
Of course.
So my first question for you is about the suggestions that you come to us with. You always choose these great classics. What is it that appeals to you so much about older music, aside from the fact that it's just what you have always listened to?
Well, hi there, Donna. Music is quite subjective, and I think with every generation, most people are always going to enjoy what they grew up with.
Yeah.
It's kind of natural. The kind of music I grew up with was mostly jazz and popular standards. And then Elvis came on the scene,
Yeah.
and I just fell in love with Elvis. I was pretty young. I think when he came on the scene, I was probably around 9. And so rock developed from there. And then we got the Beatles, and about that time is when I got a guitar.
Oh yeah, okay.
I had an uncle who was a professional guitarist during the Second World War and a little afterwards. And so, hearing him play at our parties and things like that, it really got my interest. So, so when I pick these songs, it's not a comparison to what's being created today, because every generation has beautiful music, and there's a lot that I like even today. However, back then that was the emerging rock and modern blues, and so that's why I lean that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I like that. My next question is for the color that you add. So that's something that Ed's always been really clear about, like wanting from you in particular. So when you're listening to a song and you're thinking about playing it with the rest of the group, how do you know like what to add, and how do you know when you've got it? Like that's how I want it to sound.
Yeah, the best music has a real good sense of space and harmony and melody. And so much music today doesn't think about that. I noticed that. It's just a lot of notes, hardly any space, a lot of distortion sometimes. But the music that I always gravitated to was something I could whistle, something that would just hit an emotion because the note was right there or the space was right there. So when we play our music, there are times when I try to stay true to the original melody, or even solo. But I never like to try to do it exactly that way, because we need our own palette, our own color.
Yeah.
And so when I think of color for you, I think of what this band is doing, and we have a sense of melody. We really do. Yeah. And so you have to, when I think of it, it's like the beautiful painting is here, and it just might need just one little dot of red, one little dot of blue, maybe a little swirl of purple. And that's how I look at the music and giving you color.
Yeah, I love that. Do you associate different notes or different sounds with different colors? Like, does that happen automatically?
No. We have that dark or bluesy notes that come from the minor scale. Using that minor third and the blue note, and it's appropriate when it's appropriate.
Right.
However, when it's something light, something sweet, then we go to the major sound, and so I find that I like to mix them in our songs.
Yeah.
I like to hit that little low note and then bring it in the sweet note.
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially in your solos. And you're right, it does. It adds so much interest because it doesn't keep it just dark or just bright. There's that overlap.
Yeah, because not all songs are completely down. You know, most of them have a story, and so if you're going to put color on it, you got to follow the story.
Yeah, I like that. All right, last question. What have you enjoyed the most since you've started with us and then come back to us again?
Well, for me, I've had a long career in the military and a long career in business, and so I didn't pay attention to my music. When I was young, I was in a band, with dreams of making that a career. But I ended up getting drafted, and I made it a career, which was very odd. But maybe it wasn't odd because my stepfather was a career Marine, and I was raised by him. So
it ran in the family.
But what happened is when I retired, I decided, you know what, I really want to become a musician. I really want to play. I've always had a dream of being with a band that was versatile in its genre, but the genres stay within the jazz blues arena, and maybe popular standards, which is what we do. And so when I met Ed at a clinic on improvisation, him and I clicked right off the bat.
Yeah.
We would trade solos and it just happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't think any more of it until he called me, and he told me what his idea was, and I thought, gosh, this is what I've always wanted to do, especially when he told me we had a beautiful female vocalist.
Cool.
I used to have dreams of being on stage with a female vocalist. I mean it, and cropping, and so I jumped at this, and one of the most important things about any group endeavor is there has to be a synergy, a resonance between the people. And even though there's quite a large amount of years in separation, I think we're all old souls here anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
I really feel that.
And we all, it just the harmony, the resonance is there. I just want to hold up my end, because I believe, and I know this too, is that I've got a lot of development to do, whereas Ed, Mike, and Kevin are professional musicians.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And so they can start playing. It takes me a little time, and I appreciate the patience and allow me to do that. So that's why I'm glad to be here, and I feel as fortunate.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Is there anything else that you want to share with our adoring fans?
Well, there's a lot that goes into making these songs, and feeling the lyrics and feeling the music, and I hope you come and listen and enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone, and stay tuned for part 30.